Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today's video we are going to be doing something a little different. We are going to be ranking all of the Stardew Valley characters from base game Stardew. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so as you can see, I have got all of the categories down here. I've got the best, cuties, alright, meh, and get away from me. So obviously this is the worst category. This is basically get lost, don't talk to me, and this is the best superior category, the people who I absolutely love and cannot go a save without talking to, without befriending to 10 hearts, and then everything else is in between. You know, cuties, quite love them. Alright is like, yeah, they're pretty decent. And then meh is, I'll tolerate you, but I'll try to avoid you. If I see you coming, I'll run the other way. So let's get straight into the rankings. Obviously, Abby, I have a lot of history with. If you are not following my 100% series, we actually romance her in my 100%. So I got to experience a lot of Abby. And overall, I can say she is safely an all right. Now, the reason I'd rate her all right is because I don't really like her, but she's not awful. So I think she's quite a sweet character. She's just not for me, really. I think her storyline is pretty cool and there's a lot to her. Like, she's not just bland and plain. So she's quite an interesting character to romance, and I think her storyline and her cutscenes and everything are really good. But I just don't really like her. She doesn't vibe well with me. I think there's others that I much prefer. But her character design is really cool. Like, I love her hair colour, obviously. If you can't tell, I do love myself a bit of purple. I thought I would like her more than I actually do, but I just find her quite annoying. Right, Alex, I have also rated as alright. There might be quite a few in alright because it's like mid-tier. I think I'm actually being quite kind to him because the start of his friendship is awful. When you first start working on his friendship, he's awful. He is sexist. He's not the best character overall. But as you progress with his friendship, I do think you learn more of his backstory. I think he becomes a lot kinder. I think he actually does apologise in one of the cutscenes for how rude he was. So he gets better. Starts off not very nice. He starts off like in get away from me kind of category, and then he slowly works himself up as you befriend him more. Birdie. So Birdie is a little bit of a difficult one. She's actually part of the 1.5 update. You don't really get to know much about her, but having said that, I would put her as cuties. I love her character design. I think the quest that she sends you on is really fun. I love that they added that sort of quest to Stardew. I think that was so fun. And honestly, overall, she's just really cute. Like, I love her hair. I love the little stars in it. She's just a cutie. Okay, the bouncer for me is a get away from me. He's just annoying, isn't he? He's just really annoying. He's really blunt. He doesn't do much. He just stands there and is rude, and he could be so much nicer. He could be more polite if he's not going to let us in. Caroline, on the other hand, is an absolute best for me. You know I love a cup of tea, and you just know I love a greenhouse, so her sunroom is my dream room. I really like Caroline. I think the worst thing that she does is she's quite overbearing to Abby, and she has quite traditional views when it comes to Abby, which is disappointing. She is married to Pierre though, which does make a lot of her choices questionable. Clint, however, is a get away from me. Hello, Clint. He is awful. I don't like how he thinks about Emily. Probably mainly the fact that he's kind of creepy to Emily. I just don't get good vibes from Clint at all. Also, his gold prices are so expensive. He rips me off really, doesn't he? Demetrius is also a get away from me. Really don't like Demetrius. So the reason I don't like Demetrius is when you're romancing Maru, there is a cutscene where he's really rude. I don't like him for that reason because I did romance Maru on one of my saves and I just got a totally different vibe from Demetrius. I feel like if you're not romancing Maru, he's actually quite nice. But also, isn't he rude in a cutscene to Robin? I might be remembering that wrong, but I think he's not very nice to Robin at some point. I do like that he opens the cave on our farm, but at the end of the day, that was just for his own gain, wasn't it? Okay, the dwarf is a cutie. I mean, come on. Do I really need to explain why the dwarf is cute? Like, clearly they're very cute. Okay, Elliot I put as alright. He's a cool character and he lives, like, honestly quite a dreamy life, like living on the beach, writing in that cute little shack. But he's quite full of himself and a bit pretentious and a bit self-involved. Like, he doesn't really seem like he cares about anyone else. He's just a guy with really nice hair who's a bit self-obsessed, you know? Emily is a definite cutie. She is just wonderful. Her little cutscene with the birds, the little dancing cutscene, all her crystals. I just feel like me and Emily could get along very well. I like her. She's a whole vibe. She's such a cutie. I haven't married her yet before and I can't wait to marry. By the way, for context, I haven't married all of these characters. The only ones I've married are Leah and Abby, I believe. So I can't speak for their 14 heart events, but I've friended everyone up to like 8 hearts or 10 hearts if they allow. Evelyn is of course the best. Evelyn is like my favourite character pretty much. I really love Evelyn. I just think she's the sweetest. nice. I love that her first dialogue with you is that you can call her granny. Like, how welcoming is that? She just does baking. She looks after the flowers in the community garden. Honestly, I feel like I am Evelyn. I would like to be Evelyn. Okay, George I'm gonna put as a cutie. I actually like George. I know he's really horrible, but I just have a soft spot for him. I don't really know what it is, and I feel like later on, when you build friendship with him, he does become a lot nicer. I do think that he almost redeems himself. I think maybe I'm rating him a little high just because I have a soft spot for him. Probably he should be an alright because he is rude most of the relationship with him. But he does get nicer and he kind of explains why he's kind of grumpy all the time, and I think he gets kinder. So I'm putting him as cutie. I'm sticking by it. Okay, Adventurers Guild man. I don't even know what his name is. I'm going to put him as Mayor because he doesn't really add much. You can't really talk to him. The only good thing about him is that he literally does just give you things when you complete quests, which is pretty cool. But other than that, he's not really got much depth to his character. It's kind of a shame. Like, I wish you could talk to him more. Maybe he could give you advice in the caves and stuff. He's just kind of a non-character really, and I think that's fine. It just means that I don't really like him really. The Mayor, I'm just gonna put as meh. I don't know, a same sort of situation. I don't really feel any kind of way about him. Or no, it's the governor, sorry. He's the governor. He's kind of rude because he rates you poorly sometimes in the luau, even when you're trying your best year one and you've got no good iridium quality stuff. So he's kind of rude in that regard. Grandpa is obviously the best. He literally gave us a farm. He gave us this life. He let me live my Stardew dreams. So Grandpa is the best character in the game, of course. Gunther is also meh for me. I feel like you could start to see a pattern. These are just kind of the characters where you don't really get anything from them. You don't know their storylines. You don't see anything of their backstory. There's not much I can rate for them here. Like, they're just side characters. Also notice in another pattern, they all have hats, which is interesting. Not relevant, but interesting. Gus is an absolute best for me. I love Gus. The cutscene with him and Linus, where he's so kind, it just warms my heart every time I get that cutscene. I just think he's a great guy and really kind and sweet. I wish I got to know him a little bit better, like his backstory outside of the saloon, because most of his cutscenes are about the saloon, I feel. Haley for me is an alright. I think she is great because she has a lot of personality, so I do kind of want to rate her as cutie, but she's also just rude, so I can't rate her any higher. She's such a cutie. With my mods, she is absolutely stunning. She probably over time becomes more of a rounded person and does become a little bit nicer. Harvey I'm gonna rate as meh. He's kind of rude. He takes money from us. I know he's got to make a business and stuff, but like, he takes a lot of money from us. I don't know, his backstory and his cutscenes I'm just not that interested in. He steals money from me every time I pass out in the mines, which is kind of rude because I pass out a lot and I feel like I should get a discount, surely. This little goblin ogre thing, I don't really remember them. I think they're from the witches area, I believe. I'm just gonna say get away from me because they kind of scare me and I don't really know what they do. I can't really remember them that much. Jazz I'm gonna put as alright. She's quite sweet. Jodie I'm gonna put as I'm really torn with Jodie between alright and cutie. I used to really not like Jodie, so I would have put her down like meh. I just found her really bland at the beginning. I feel like she's climbed the ranks for me and I feel like she might be a cutie. She invites you for dinner, she tries to make you feel part of her family. Ken I'm just gonna put as meh. Like, I can't think of anything that makes me strongly like him. Crowbase for me is also like the dwarf. Absolute cuties. I want a plushie of Crowbase. He's just a cute little bean. He's just our little sewer friend and I think he's really sweet. His prices are a little bit expensive and I wish he sold iridium sprinklers not just on one day a week. That's very annoying to me, but he's a cutie. Leah, obviously in the best category. She is my wife. I love her. She is my absolute #1 person I like to romance. I really wish that her backstory was more in depth and less about her ex, but I love that she goes and does art on the pier. I love that she's into foraging. Leo is also going to be a cutie for me. He's just so sweet. I love his backstory. I also have a mod that makes him wear like a bird outfit and it's just the cutest thing ever. All his cutscenes are really sweet and that you really get to learn more about him and his life, and I just think it's a really cool storyline and such a cool addition to the game as well, so I really like Leo. Lewis for me is a get away from me. I feel like this is probably everyone's list. I hate his relationship with Marnie. I hate that he's embarrassed to talk about Marnie, like hiding her away. Linus for me is an absolute best category. I love Linus. I really love his storyline as well. I love that he sticks up for himself in his storyline and that you learn more more about what he loves and like why he chooses the lifestyle he does. Marlon for me, it's again just kind of a meh character, not really much to him, another kind of non-character where he's just in a post of his job and that's it. Marnie for me would be a cutie. I think she's very sweet and I do like her, but she does something unforgivable, and that is she's never in her shop, so she goes down to all right for that, and it's very annoying, and I always need hay because my animals are starving and I can never feed them because of you, Marnie, so you're going in all right, not cutie. I think Mary's all right for me. I would put her in cutie, but again, like, I romanced her and I just found her a bit boring after a while, so she is a cutie, but also I just got bored when I was romancing her. Also, I'm just not that sciencey, so I guess I wasn't super interested in her storyline, but I think she's really cute. I love her character design. Maurice, obviously. Get away from me, Maurice. Do I need to say more? QI, I'm gonna put as a cutie. I love that he gives us so many new quests. I think he's just really cool and adds a lot to the game, so I have to rate him cutie. Although, why, QI, are your quests so hard? Also, I know I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I say QI. Pam, I'm also going to put as a cutie. I really like Pam. I've got a soft spot for her again. I also really love the thing that you can do late game with her house. Now that I'm looking at it, I feel like I want to move Maru up here as well. She's a cutie. She deserves the cutie spot. And also Penny, you're also going to be a cutie. Pierre is obviously a get away from me. He's just rude. He steals my vegetables and sells them as his own. He has really expensive prices. I feel bad for him because of Joja and like the stress he's under. But also he's just rude and he's nasty to Abby. I don't enjoy Pierre. Is this Professor Snail? Well, he is an absolute cutie. I love Professor Snail. I gave him the best voice when I was voice acting him. I just think he's so sweet. Robin, I'm also going to put as a cutie just because she is, isn't she? I think that her prices are a little bit expensive, I can't lie. But also she's so cool. Like, she just builds things with her own hands. She's a cool lady and I love her. I think it's clear I quite love redheads. Who knew? Sam, I'm just going to put as all right. There's nothing that interesting about Sam. I do like that he's into music and he's got that going for him. But other than that, he's just a bit boring. Sandy is absolute best. Oh my gosh, the mod I have for Sandy makes her freaking stunning. I just love her. I wish you could romance her. I wish that she could live in Stardew. I just feel so bad for her out in the desert all the time when she would love to live in Stardew. And her and Emily definitely have a thing going on, I'm sure of it. I saw them. Seb is also alright. I do think, like, honestly, half of these people could be meh. Seb and Sam, same sort of thing. I'm just not that sold on their storylines. I'm a bit bored of their storylines when I get through them. Shane, I'm gonna put as a cutie. I think he's quite lovely. Obviously, at the beginning, he is struggling and he does lash out and he takes it out on a lot of the people around him, and that is not great, but he has such character growth and development, and I really love the storyline you go on with him. I think it's really cool that you get to kind of experience that with him. I do wish with Shane's storyline that there were trigger warnings, but I think by the end I love the turnaround he's made and the self-improvement he's made. I'm gonna put Vincent as alright as well. Him and Jazz are just kind of the same for me. They're not that interesting to me. Then we've got Willie that I'm gonna put as a cutie. I actually love Willie. I think he's so incredibly sweet. He gives me that grandpa energy and I just think he's like very protective. And finally we've got the wizard, which I'm also going to put as a cutie because he is, isn't he? He's just super cool. I do wish that there was more you could do with the wizard storyline, but equally I kind of like the decision not to make it super magical. But yeah, that is my complete list. Let me know what you think of where I rated them, if you agree, if you disagree. If you want to do this for yourself, I will link it in the description for you to try out yourself. You can post them in my Discord as well if you want to. But yeah, I wonder what you lot have to say as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. But yeah, that was a fun little video. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!